What's happening, guys? We're back. We're gonna be doing some disassembly today. All right, so we've reached the point in the build where we have a rolling chassis. It does roll. So the next step is we need to get the thing running. Whoa, time out, cut. I just realized while I was editing this episode that I never told you guys how much the car weighs. So there were some really good guesses. They were all very optimistic. I think Tony, you said it was gonna be under 1,000 pounds, which, nope, not even close. The final weight came out to be about 1,400 pounds with a 51% rear weight bias. I thought the car was gonna be around 1,800 pounds, so I was pleasantly surprised by that number. You guys all thought that it was gonna be like 1,200 pounds, which I wish. But the car is a little bit heavy. It's kind of designed to be a little bit heavy. When you start looking at the components that we're using, like the engine's a pretty lightweight engine. It's all aluminum block. It's perfect for the application. But then we have a big fat truck rear end, a 48.8 inch rear end. That thing on its own weighs 100, 200 pounds. I don't know. It's heavy. I can't lift it on its own. So that thing's heavy. The chassis we've kept fairly lightweight, but we have our roll hoop structure on the top. That adds unnecessary weight. But we've been designing the car more for aesthetics, quite frankly, than for performance. The car's never gonna be a land speed record holder. It's gonna be aerodynamically limited to probably 130, 140 kilometers an hour. And it's gonna be scary as hell at that speed. So the car was never built to be super fast. Hopefully it handles pretty well, but largely we've been building it to just look cool, drive to the shops, go for a burn every now and again. So we've made decisions based on that. Like even probably the heaviest thing on this car, honestly, is the wheel and tire package. We went with like a 17-inch, big, wide wheel, just because it looks cool. And I'd rather have a car that looks cool because I'm probably never gonna drive it real fast or in anger. So the car's a bit heavy. Hopefully it won't be an issue, and hopefully it still goes fast. So that's how much the car weighs. Let's get back to the episode. It does roll. So the next step is we need to get the thing running. Everybody wants to see that. Let's do it. So the motor is not in a running condition right now. The biggest thing is it's missing a clutch and flywheel. When we assembled it, we just left those out because, well, they're heavy. So I got looking at them. This is the flywheel that we got with the motor. It looks actually in decent shape. The teeth are still pretty good on the starter gear. We could probably resurface and reuse that, but the pressure pad on the other side is just absolutely munted. There's all kinds of heat pockets. It's warped. This is garbage. So we looked at getting a new one of those here in Calgary. And then I went online to Injuku Racing, and I can get a whole replacement clutch system, new flywheel, new pressure pad, new friction disc, the whole thing, for less than just getting a clutch locally. So we're gonna go that route. Unfortunately, because we are ordering overnight parts from Florida, it's probably gonna be a month for them to get here. So we need to do some prep work. So we're gonna pull the motor out, and we're gonna try to get the motor into a running state. Right now it's just in kind of a mock-up state. Not all the bolts are tight, not all the bolts are in it, not all the seals are in it and whatnot. So we're gonna work to get that thing figured out so that when we get the new clutch in, we can just drop the motor in and we're ready to go. So the goal today is let's get the motor out. I got my engine stand here. Let's get it out, let's get it on the stand. And then maybe next episode we can kind of go through the motor a little bit. So let's start by, we'll rip all the accessories off, and then we're gonna try to pull the engine and trans out as one piece. If we can, we might have to jack the back of the car up, but whatever. So we'll pull the motor out, throw her on the stand, and let's just get to work. Let's just do something. got all the accessories and all the bracketry and whatnot stripped off the engine. So the next step is we need to jack the back of the car up and drop the front end of the car. That's so that we can get enough angle on the transmission to slide the whole thing out as one piece. So I got it up on the leveling blocks in the front here, so we'll drop it off the level blocks, we'll chalk the front wheels, and then we'll jack the back end up and throw it up on jack stands, and then grab the engine crane and hopefully pull this thing out. Alright, that was actually a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. So we got the motor out, we got it on the stand. Now we have kind of a big bare open chassis there. So it might make some things a little bit easier to do on the chassis in the future with the motor out. I don't know, we'll see. So that's all I was going to do today. We got the engine out, we got it up on the stand, so now we can go about putting all of the bits back on it. I want to test fit the turbo and the manifold and whatnot on here to make sure that I have all the right seals and all the right oil lines and coolant lines and stuff like that. So we're gonna do that next week. This week, I'm gonna call it an episode. So thank you so much for watching, you guys. If you haven't already, hit the like and subscribe button. Go check us out on Instagram, Left Foot First Media, and we'll see you next week. I'm out of here.